distinguished Master Marlene Stevenson Daly. You have seen her challenging schools with a quiz, but something you may not know is she is also an author, a loving grandmother. And today, our host with the most to take us through our celebration and our award ceremony to recognize those who did great for the 2022 to 2023 year. I now turn over to you, our host, distinguished Toastmaster, Marley Stevenson.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joni. And good evening, Toastmasters and guests. What a pleasure it is to be here with you this evening, celebrating your first anniversary and celebrating all of the awards that you would have received over this past year. Hard work indeed pays off, and I am delighted to join you. Allow me to begin this evening by just saying a big thank you. I know they have been thanked already, but a big thank you to the outgoing executive whose work and dedication is what we're celebrating, having collaborated with members of this wonderful club, Platinum Artistic, and they are celebrating that with you this evening. So let me acknowledge our past era director, Kezron Walters, Toastmaster Kezron, big up. And of course, I'd also like to say a very special welcome to the present era director, Nadia Jules, and to thank the past executive from 2022-2023, President Marcella, VPE Alwyn St. Omer, VPM Toastmaster Joni Renee, or VP PR, Carla Andrea Isaacs, and or Secretary Marcia Mary Bruce, not Marcia, but Mary Bruce.
I think there was some internet issues.
Are you still with me? Of
Yes, we
course,
are.
we want to acknowledge our new executive, President Alwyn St. Omer, who has stepped up from his post of VPE, and Toastmaster Marcella, who has taken the reins for the VPE for this next year. VPM Roger Harrell, you have taken on a new role this year. And of course, the VP PR, Karen Kennedy, Secretary Janelle Bernard, Treasurer Marie Claude P. Legrand, and Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Joni Renee Laidlaw. Now, I just want to, at the outset as well, say that in the words of Emily Dickinson, fortune befriends the bold. And you have been fortunate because you have all stepped up and stepped out of your comfort zone and you have done it. 10 out of 10 is no easy feat. And so again, congratulations. I'd like to bring to the virtual lectern at this time Alwyn St. Omer, artist and storyteller with a very deep passion and lifelong desire to document his island's cultural heritage through his drawings and paintings. For him, rediscovery and preservation of all the treasures forming the formidable expanse loosely termed the St. Lucian environment, history, culture, and folklore would be his life's achievement. Its art, myths, writings, and traditions. Toastmaster Alwyn studied art at the Edna Manley School for the Visual and Performing Arts in Jamaica and video production and audio visuals at Portsmouth College in England. Alwyn is a master draftsman and colorist, defining and redefining images in a style that is uniquely his own. Of note are his designs of St. Lucia's National Independence Monument, and his Moon Dance, a series of abstract paintings based on the lost masquerade tradition of St. Lucia, and Sukayan, a graphic novel of St. Lucian folk tales. Alwyn is, as you know, a Toastmaster of no ordinary means. He's a double, triple crown winner and a member of 3 Toastmasters clubs. He co-founded, along with his wife Marcella, the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, the first specialist Toastmasters club for artists and creatives in the Caribbean region, and the club having achieved 10 out of 10 goals. Wow, gives him that president distinguished status, and he has done so consecutively. Need I say more, Toastmasters and guests? Please put your virtual hands together and make welcome Alwyn St. Omer, distinguished president ×2. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very distinguished Toastmaster, Dali, for that warm introduction. It actually had me blushing, and I was actually looking around to see who you were talking about, because it looked a lot. But getting back to business, welcome Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to this very auspicious occasion. And as a Toastmaster, my first order of business is to recite the Toastmasters Promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules of all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. It's a mouthful, but it's a fantastic mouthful. But imagine, my story is quite a unique one, because I was actually dragged to become a Toastmaster. My wife and I were actually doing salsa and bachata, and one day my better half told me she had something to do, but I should go ahead to my Wine Wednesday and bachata, which I proceeded to do. But it was a couple of weeks later when she told me she had been attending the Toastmasters meeting. On attending my first Toastmasters meeting, I was terrified, because although I'd been in the media, being the head of an advertising agency and everything, I was stunned by the fact that these Toastmasters were presenting the most amazing speeches and without a script in hand. I secretly vowed never to return, but she made me attend one more meeting, and here I am, Toastmaster Alwyn St. Omer, president of the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, recently made area director, and I have a level 4 and a 5. And the amazing thing is I discovered that the Pathways program in Toastmasters is actually aligned to your professional goals, because even my masquerade series, I was forced to do research on it, and I've been using the research gained from my experience as a Toastmaster to present the paintings. And in fact, I have done a whole path this year through my presentation of an art exhibition in the UK. So I actually used Toastmasters. I was stuck on level 3, but when my wife told me, Alwyn, but you have this exhibition in England, use it to align it to your path. And so I did. And here I am. I have a UK exhibition in September, and it's all through Toastmasters. So Welcome, everyone. Good evening again, Toastmasters and guests. It's a special welcome to everyone, including the hardworking members of the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, prospective Toastmasters, guests, and our friends who help us on the journey to the club's outstanding success in the last Toastmasters year. I feel honored on this auspicious celebratory occasion to take over the helm from our passionate and formidable past president, area director, and also area director, Toastmaster Marcelo Santoma. Thanks also to our hardworking, outgoing executive team for their sterling services in leading the club to success. I also want to thank our also very talented incoming new executive as a new Toastmasters journey beckons. Nevertheless, as they say, never rest on your laurels. We hope to remain inspired, as the late martial artist and superstar Bruce Lee said. When asked about his success, he said, "Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. Have faith in your ability. You'll do just fine." As we celebrate our achievements this evening, my key message to all our members, prospective Toastmasters, and guests, that I invite you to actively participate in all club activities. Become a Toastmaster as we move forward. We reiterate our commitment to helping all members reach their full potential in this new Toastmasters year. Remember, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. That's a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. And this promises to be an exciting year. Let's be prepared to forge ahead together for the success of us all. The journey begins. Thank you.
And thank you. Had a moment there when I thought I had fallen off. Thank you so much, Area Director, President St. Omer. Thank you so much for those words of encouragement as well. And of course, celebrating those who would have gone before with the hard work. And earlier on, you were saying that you probably didn't recognize who I was talking about. And I didn't even add that you were awarded St. Lucia's Medal of Honor, Gold for eminent service rendered in the field of art and culture in 2021. That's in the pandemic year. And a double catapult Caribbean Art Awardee you are. So congratulations. You continue to inspire the creatives that are in this club. And we look forward to another year of great achievement. Now, we have a little sneak peek for you for our Art Talk guest. Let's give a look. Wonderful. Yes. Now that we've seen a little bit of his work, let me tell you a little bit about our guest in Art Talk. Christopher Cox, Toastmasters and Guests, is among the few recognized wildlife artists from the Caribbean. Christopher was born in Toronto, Canada, but grew up on the Eastern Caribbean island of St. Lucia. His interest in wildlife art was cultivated through his secondary school years. Following school in the mid-1980s, Christopher went on to work with the St. Lucia Forestry Department and has remained in the environmental field within his professional career since. It was from his early days with the Forestry Department that his love for wildlife and environmental art became inseparable from his career. Christopher holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Forest Resource Management from the University of New Brunswick, Canada, and master's and doctoral degrees in Agriculture and Biosystems Engineering from McGill University in Canada. He opened up new creative horizons beyond the Caribbean region while living and working in Nairobi, Kenya between 2014 to mid-2019, followed by a posting to Panama City, Panama, where he continues his professional career with the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. Christopher works in watercolor, acrylics, and oils. He is known for his realistic interpretations of Caribbean flora and fauna, and during his time in East Africa, extended his creative reach into the vast and spectacular Africascapes. Now in Panama, back in a tropical rainforest environment, he has been making new creations from new inspirations, capturing the Central American country's dazzling variety of wildlife and forestscapes on canvas. Christopher's art collective, Chris Cox Originals, I think that's a little bit of a tongue twister. Chris Cox Originals includes a range of products inspired by his work. Toastmasters and guests, may I invite you to put your hands together and make welcome to this virtual lectern, our special Art Talk guest, Christopher Cox. Let's hear it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Marlene. Thank you so much, Toastmasters. Thank you, Alwyn, for extending the kind invitation to join this audience. It's really a pleasure. In fact, as you would have seen on my screen, the UNEP stands for United Nations Environment Program. So yes, I'm indeed coming to you from Panama, right? Not too far from St. Lucia, although it would have been better if I was back home, to be honest. I'm usually back home during the summertime, but this year we're taking a little bit of a break, maybe come back in December. But again, happy to be here. And just to give a bit of a background also, I have gone back many years with the Santoma family, the distinguished art family of St. Lucia, and Alwyn, Luigi, Giovanni, Julio, those, and of course, Dunstan. They were the root of my inspiration as a young kid growing up. I remember Dunstan Santoma coming to my school when I was yay-high, inspiring and saying to the kids, oh, this is so beautiful, you know, all the artwork that and the creativity. And that's a little inspiration to get along the way. And as I grew up doing art with Luigi Santoma in school in St. Mary's College, getting encouraged and so on by Luigi and the family, because I knew all of them as well, was really a starter point in my life. So I must say, again, thanks to all of the inspiration from, you know, Owen and family and so on. But yes, like I said, it's indeed a pleasure to come on. And as in my bio, I got my inspiration really from working with the forestry department mainly. I mean, when I left school, I was already doing paintings of wildlife and so on. So I already had this sort of interest, right? And when I was about leaving school, not too far out of, you know, before I left school, I went to the rainforest with my dad, because at the time my dad was doing a cable TV business in St. Lucia, and he was looking for telephone poles, right? These long poles, right? So he took me up into the rainforest in the middle of St. Lucia. I never believed St. Lucia could be so beautiful, like in the mountains, right? And from then I decided, look, I ain't gonna work in no bank or nothing like that. I wanna work out in the greenery. And seriously, that was from like I was 17, and I decided that from early. And I got a job with the forestry department without any resume, right? My resume was 3 small paintings I painted on paper. Went into the forestry department one August, and I met this gentleman who was working there, a British guy. His name was Paul Butler, who happened to be doing research on the St. Lucia parrot. I told him, I really want to work in the forest. I want to work in the outdoors and so on. This is what I could do. Take a look. He saw this and he said, oh, great. This is, we could probably use somebody like this. And in fact, there was somebody who left the department to go live overseas. She was a tour guide. And he told me, well, we have a job opening. Would you like to come on? I said, sure. And that was it. I got a job. And they took me on to help illustrate. And that's where I crossed paths with Alwyn, because Alwyn had just left to go to study in Jamaica. And he was actually doing illustrations for a monthly, I think it was, supplement in the newspapers called Bush Talk. And he was the artist, right, doing the illustrations. So I picked up after Alwyn left to continue the illustrations, all right? So there's another nexus right there. Anyway, throughout the time I was with the forestry department, I wanted to be more challenged, do more technical work. So they had me do more technical stuff like survey work and so on. It gave me the opportunity to spend hours in the rainforest with the survey crew and so on, in and amongst the fellows smoking weed. I was out there watching birds and sketching, right? while on a break, by the way. So anyway, all of these inspirations came to me in paintings, and I started doing showings in St. Lucia. At the time, I used to participate in this great festival called the M&C Fine Arts Award. All right, and all of us as artists, we all aspire to show paintings there. And I won a few times, a few years in different categories. And yeah, and shortly thereafter, there was a period of time between I was working in forestry and I went up to university. So did my university studies, but all the time I kept up the artwork, And coming back into to kind of resume after university studies, I got involved more in conservation work and planning and design, and particularly of projects and developing work in forestry. So a lot of while I wasn't doing art, of course, as a career profession, but I was doing the professional work, and a lot of what I did was a blend of doing forest resource management. A lot of the specialization I ended up going into was water resources management. So things like watershed management, protection of forests for water supply, which is very important in St. Lucia. It eventually led me into my applied research, right? Looking specifically at land management and water. Because if those of you who have been to St. Lucia, you would know that St. Lucia has severe water problems during the dry season. We have a lot of land degradation. Through that work, I became involved in other countries as well, because eventually I left the St. Lucia Forestry Department. I joined the Ministry of Agriculture, doing agriculture planning, and then I went on to work for CARICOM. And then with CARICOM, I started to work with other countries, doing a lot of what I did for my professional work in St. Lucia, my academic studies and so on, and lending that to expertise in other Caribbean countries. So looking at all the issues of environmental degradation and so on. And it always was astounding at the extent to which people were generally not aware of the simple influences they have on the environment and how fragile the environment is, and how things like littering and pollution impacts in a very direct way the water supply, the quality of water in our recreational beaches. People don't make that connection. So I spent a lot of my work trying to bring those connections, all right? And I would say through my artwork and the stories I told, and especially through social media, was to make those connections with environment and what's happening, in, I suppose, my brain, trying to express what I felt in my art. But I had the opportunity, of course, to show people, who I'd interact with, like, the art is a way of capturing what maybe the average person, especially in wildlife art and environmental art, may not see. People see a beautiful scene, for example, and you see Alwyn is sitting with his backdrop, okay? But there's a story behind that. That is a river. There's a story behind that river. There's a story behind the watershed. There's a story behind the people who farm, who do practices that degrade the water. And that is what I bring also in my messaging when I talk about my art and I talk to people about it, So this is the kind of thing that I think, draws me to do artwork. Bring what maybe the detail people don't see, okay? Like, you look at a scene or you look at a particular landscape. What my eye sees is probably different, and I try to capture that and try to express that through my artwork. Yeah. So having, did most of my adult life in St. Lucia, I got the opportunity to go work in Kenya with the United Nations. And that's on a global stage. So now I'm doing the similar kinds of things, but now working with projects in India, in the Philippines, in Sri Lanka, right? Parts of Africa, trying again to bring a lot of the knowledge to a global setting. And I think for me is unique because I come from a small island, right? And trying to articulate the small island experience and, explaining how no mind we're a small island, but we have the same concerns. We have the same issues as you living in a big country. I always remember going to Kenya, talking to people, and I tell them, I come from a small island. They say, where is that in the first instance? They don't know where that is. Everybody knows Jamaica, by the way, but nobody knows St. Lucia. All right, they know Bob Marley, but they don't know St. Lucia. Anyway, when I tell them the population of St. Lucia is like 180,000, they laugh. That's like a small village in most of these African countries, right? But the thing is, the reality of what we face is the same as what they face. The livelihoods, the sustenance of people on the environment, right? The same kind of messaging. The messaging that I grew up with my professional career, the messaging I'm trying to deliver in my arts, all tied together, So again, explaining through my art on the artistic side, of course, and the conservation messaging was always something I still carried through. And I carried through with the people I interacted with as well, We had the opportunity, explain to them about my artwork and all that kind of stuff, right? So I spent 4.5 years in Kenya, in Nairobi. If you have the chance, you should visit a very beautiful country. And of course, some of the animals you saw there are representatives of that. I mean, you've seen some of the pictures that I illustrated, mostly parrots and birds of the Caribbean, okay? Now back in Panama, or in the Caribbean region in Panama, beautiful country. It's a similar kind of thing, very green landscapes, beautiful. I mean, the amount of birds you'd see around here. I'm sitting outside and even there's sometimes toucans in the trees around me and hummingbirds, floating around my head. It's absolutely beautiful. So a lot of inspiration. I've been doing work while I'm here. But of course, in my professional work now in Panama, I'm actually doing work with projects in the Caribbean islands. So I'm not, my area of focus is actually the Caribbean islands. So you have projects from the Bahamas right down. And a lot of my job is actually to raise money, design projects to implement on conserving biodiversity and conserving land in the Caribbean. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. All right. Managing projects with a very large portfolio from an organization called the Global Environment Facility, which actually funds conservation work across the globe in accordance with the conventions on climate change, the convention on biodiversity, and the convention on land degradation, right? So that's what I do as the point person for the Caribbean based in Panama, all right? So again, tying the work back to what I do, is like, yeah, one half of the brain is working on the project management side. A lot of project management side is like what you call herding cats, right? I mean, it's not an easy job. You know how the islands are, very low capacities, very small numbers of people trying to do many things, handling a lot of money. And sometimes the capacity in governments are not as they should be. So it takes a lot of time and effort to help with that capacity building and help inspire, right? I find that sometimes, that word inspiration comes up a lot to me. While you get inspired to do arts, the reason why you're inspired to do anything is because of the perception of satisfaction, okay? As an artist, I'm inspired to create because of the feeling I get, right? I find that in the workplace now, it's maybe a different thing. People need encouragement, need that inspiration, because what you do is a demonstration of, or should be a demonstration of what your heart feels, right? And in a lot of cases, and I encounter it all the time, the overwhelming sense of a lot of what people do in their job tends to be just a job. I'm there because that's what I could get. I'm not really putting myself out too much. I'm not being inspired, So I often, when I speak to my colleagues and I use that word inspire, you know, part of my job is to help inspire you, right? And that inspiration is because there's a value to it. There's a collective value we have to feel towards protecting the environment, conserving the environment, right? And people like me who've had the experience, I've traveled and seen things. My role, to a large extent, I think, is like as a teacher, somebody to inspire, you know? So I've seen the yellow coming on. How many more minutes? I forget what the yellow means. 5, 2 more minutes. Right. So anyhow, that's a story behind the work. That's a story behind me, my inspiration. I think I could talk a lot more. I even talk about the merchandise stuff. I got websites, web links. You can check out my website, chriscoxoriginals.com. I talk a lot about myself there, what inspires me again, and the kinds of projects I do, from the wildlife to the graphic art kind of stuff that goes on merchandise and so on and so forth. But yeah, so that's me. And again, really happy to be here. And sorry if I was just rambling on, but hopefully it captured my essence. So thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Christopher Cox, our special Art Talk guest. I believe I saw in the chat somebody was asking for your social media handles, and I know the website was placed in the chat.
Yep.
So would you tell us the social media handles, or place
Yeah.
it, and also place it in the chat?
Yeah, everything is branded Chris Cox Originals. So you just type there Chris Cox Originals. So you got the website, chriscoxoriginals.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, right? I even put up an NFT site, right, recently, which I'm trying to get that one going. But yeah, so and TikTok as well. Not too much on TikTok, but I do have TikTok as well.
Okay.
And what else is there? I think that's it.
All right. Well, congratulations. You're all over the place, so we should have no issue finding you. But I have one for you before you go. And my grandmother would say, well, you're dashwe, no washwe.
No dash.
You understand? In the context of your conservation work.
Yes.
Well, you're dashwe, no washwe.
Right, right, exactly. Now, you know, my mother's Jamaican, right? So I'm half Jamaican.
Oh, okay. Well, what can I tell you?
I'm a St. Lucian Jamaican. Yeah.
St. Lucian Jamaican. We're happy to have you either way, both ways.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is where I drop off, I guess, and say goodbye.
No, you can stay. You're welcome to stay.
Okay.
Please. We have our awards and we have some other
sure.
stuff happening. It's going to be a great evening. So please stay with us.
No problem. Thank you so much again.
All righty. So Toastmasters and guests, as we move along, it's time to hear from our Art Talk guests and to get a meeting recap for the year 2022-2023. And the theme, I'm told, is let's see how far we've come. And you've come a long way, baby. All right. So a little flashback. I thought that was really nice. It gave me an opportunity just to see some of the themes and some of the Toastmasters of the day and that sort of thing. And it looked like it was quite an interesting, quite a busy year. Congratulations, Platinum. Now, of course, we have some musical selections from some of our past Art Talk guests. And we're going to check out Semi Majestic Love. Let's turn our attention to the screen.
So majestic love, so majestic girl. Every little thing you do, the crazy little things you say, sweeps my heart away, sweeps my heart away. There are times when you're not there, I still hear you saying softly that you care. Softly that you care. You are always on my mind, my one and only. A touch so gentle and kind, nice and easy. A love like yours so hard to find. I found my honey, forever say you'll be mine. You're everything majestic, you've got my heart, just take it. It's clear, you have me bubbling out there. Songs of love I hear, songs of love I hear. Anywhere I choose to go, girl, I know you will follow. I'll be your hero, I'll be your hero. We can fly to the moon on a Virgin rocket, spend the whole afternoon. Yes, we're chilling, and when tomorrow comes, baby, I'm just saying we can do it all over again. You're everything majestic, you've got my heart, just take it. I love you, I love you. You're everything majestic, you've got my heart, just take it. I love you, I love you, yeah. So majestic love, so majestic girl, yeah. So majestic love, so majestic girl. You're everything majestic, you've got my heart, just take it. I love you, I love you. You're everything majestic, you've got my heart, just take it. I love you, I love you. Oh girl, yes I do, yeah. Girl, yes I do, yeah. You know I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah. Oh baby, you know I love you, girl. Whoa, yes I do, yeah. You know I love you, girl. Whoa, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Wow, that was Manasseh Edwards, award-winning pan soloist and professional jazz pianist. And before him, of course, Semi Majestic Love. There's one thing I noticed in the first video, the first presentation. Of course, both were Art Talk guests here at Platinum Artistic, but I noticed he was singing about Majestic Love, where there were two ladies in the photo, in the video. That made me wonder for just a moment which one of the ladies he was singing about. Notwithstanding, Toastmasters and guests, let me introduce you to our next performer, if you will. Kezron Walters, VC3DL3, is a legal officer at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. He is a barrister at law and solicitor from the Gem of the Antilles, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He specializes in legal and legislative drafting, international trade policy, civil litigation, and non-contentious legal practice. He's a member of the Achievers Toastmasters Club and the former area director of Area 15. Please put those virtual hands together and make him welcome.
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster of the Day. I'm not certain you can classify me as a performer. However, I will try my best to deliver these brief remarks. They are entitled...
Kezron, this is a performance too. It's just a spoken word.
They are entitled The Pursuit of Excellence. Many of us here have seen the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. It's starring Will Smith and features a single father with less than desirable social background who is struggling to make ends meet. He recalls meeting his father for the first time at age 28. He meets a gentleman driving a red Ferrari who he asks, "What do you do for a living?" The gentleman responds, "I'm a stockbroker." Unable to pay his rent, he is evicted and ends up living on the street with his son. Determined to change his circumstances, he signs up for an internship at a brokerage firm. The internship, however, is unpaid, and he has to continue hustling as a medical equipment salesman to make ends meet. There are many pearls of wisdom from this movie, not the least his absolute determination. He says to his son, "You want something, you go get it, period." What many of us do not know is that this is actually a true story. The life of a gentleman called Chris Gardner. Gardner, in an interview, recounts how difficult it was at the time, leaving his 2-year-old son in less than ideal babysitting situations to go out on a daily basis to work for his bread. Faced with so many different possibilities, alcoholism, drugs, crime, he made the choice to go the other way. He recalls that his pastor often encouraged him, "Baby steps count too, as long as you're moving forward." And one day, when you add up all of those baby steps, you will be surprised where you can get to. The pursuit of happiness has made me think about the pursuit of excellence. Does excellence equate to happiness? A carpenter may feel most fulfilled when he has taken different pieces of lumber and created a masterpiece of joinery or furniture. He will feel accomplished when he can run his hands along that well-planed or varnished surface. A mason will feel fulfilled when he looks at a wall or a house that he built, the asymmetrical walls and smooth surfaces. An author will feel fulfilled when holding his published piece, possibly a bestseller on Amazon. Toastmaster Alwyn may feel accomplished when he admires his drawings and paintings, the combinations of colors, the transitions, the texture of oil on canvas, or whatever is used to create the final outcome, and the correlations of life to this masterpiece. A surgeon may feel fulfilled when he closes up a body, knowing that he has tackled the intricacies of the human body successfully. They will all earn differing levels of income from their work, but their definitions of excellence and happiness all differ. 1 year ago, the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club was realigned to Area 15 during my tenure as area director, and I have been able to witness several pursuits of excellence and happiness. Through the art talks and other presentations, I have seen the glimmer in the eyes of the presenters as they detail their works of art. The gleam is especially apparent in the eye of President Alwyn Toastmaster, Alwyn St. Omer. I have been able to witness how now immediate past president and area director Marcella St. Omer marshals her forces and marched toward the designation of President's Distinguished Club. We were able to see many educational achievements. DTM Marcella and her 4th Triple Crown. DTM Joni in her elevation. President Marcella and President Alwyn in their elevations to area director. Time and again, I have been able to congratulate the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club for its pursuit of excellence. But my question to you today is, how far are you in your pursuit of excellence or your pursuit of happiness? Remember this, baby steps count too, as long as you are moving forward. And one day, when you add up all those steps, you'll be surprised where you can get to. To the executive and members of the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club, I wish you happy 1st anniversary and best wishes along your Toastmasters journey. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, past area director Kezron Walters. And you, sir, must also take a bow, having been there to guide and to hold hands as the Platinum Artistic Club made their way in their pursuit of excellence. I will remember that my baby steps count. Yes, as long as I'm moving forward, I will remember that. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now, Toastmasters and guests, we're going to move on to our poetry feature of past Art Talk guests. And this one is coming from Khadijah Halliday, spoken word poetry by Khadijah Halliday, and it's called Black Skin. Put your hands together for her.
This is a poem about growing up with black skin. No, not brown skin, not fair skin, not the lightness belonging to a Shabin. I'm talking dark, rich, melanated, glistening skin that ignited itself in the sun, that in spite of me trying to inspire myself to overcome, I could not expunge my self-loathing for it. This is not a poem about self-love. This is a poem about the psychological displacement, self-hatred, which started in school with me witnessing kids with skin the same color as mine get struck dead by bullying, whilst I stood by and did nothing out of terror of being identified as even uglier than I had already thought that I was. I had already been taught that I was. I did nothing. This is a poem about that time in third form that girl looked me dead in the eyes as I walked past her. She said to me, with the familiar conviction of a Pentecostal pastor, you look like a neg, Arwood, donkey. And I was merrily walking to class. Do you see, this is not a poem about growing up black. This is a poem about growing up with black skin, which is a different thing. This is a different thing. For me, it was everything as a kid. It was insecurity and insanity all at once. It was me quickly getting used to being the dark, ugly duckling in every friend setting. It was those same friends being terrified to look like me. It was my obsession with overpriced lightning creams. It was me giving up an entire tennis scholarship because sports would mean sun, and sun would mean rays, and rays would mean me risking more blackness. Shit. This is a poem about some serious pain. This is a poem about an immense amount of shame because I was immediately disqualified from unspoken beauty contests. Every time I entered a room, everyone else was always light enough to reflect whilst I could only glisten. Listen, this is a poem about years of yearning to take a blade to my skin and scrape away. This is a poem about saving up to go to America because mommy once told me that in the winter my darkness could fade. This is a poem about rage at God because out of all palettes of paint, why would he choose for me this shade? But this is also a poem about change, about growth and introspection and interrogation and rejection of colonial indoctrination. Gazing into the television at my favorite characters, white boys with wavy blonde hair, whiter girls with straight brunette hair, asking, where am I? Where am I? Why am I not represented on this screen, on this stage, in this space? Holding the TV, looking in, shaking it, asking, who am I? This is a poem about listening to my baby sister. Beautiful Carissa is her name, it means grace. Listening to her talk about the same bullying experiences, seeing similar familiar pain staining her adorable, precious little face. This is a poem about me deciding then that this disgrace is enough. I will not stand for this any longer. My baby sister does not deserve to feel any inferior because of her skin color. Colorism is sick. This is a poem about revolt. And it took my little sister, yes it did, looking up at me from a glorious dark-skinned face for me to begin posting my pictures in whatever shade the sun, the camera, the lens in your eyes decides to capture it. Capture this. Take out your phones and capture this because this is a poem that I never thought that I could perform. This is a poem about me reclaiming my Carissa, my grace. This is a poem about dark-skinned, hashtag melanin, hashtag Nubian queen not being a mistake or a fad or a trend. This is a poem about a little dark-skinned girl, now a larger dark-skinned girl whose confidence is on the mend. This is a poem about the beauty that this dark-skinned woman never lacked. A poem about the self-compassion and art that was burnt out of me, taking so long to internalize that. This is a poem about dismantling the canonical ideology perpetuated in colonial history that darkness is synonymous with bad things and that goodness can only be packaged in light. I am good. I am dark and I am good. I am dark and there is lightness in me, not but, and. And there is darkness in me too. And lightness and darkness and goodness can all coexist. They do. I am living proof. This is a poem about a very personal emancipation story, but one that belongs to many dark-skinned girls. This is a poem for black-skinned babies, black-skinned infants, black-skinned young ladies. You are beautiful, and you are loved. Like I said, this is a poem about growing up with black skin. But I guess that this is also a poem about self-love. This is a poem about me finally feeling free to fall in love with the sun.
And this is a very deep poem. Yes. Well said. Well done. Khadija Halliday. I must look her up. Yes. And now, Toastmasters and guests, we are going to move right into our awards and recognitions for 2022-2023. And let's get on the screen the information, the names. We're going to be starting with the levels achieved. Here we go, Madame Zoom Master. Icebreakers. Bowen. Mandy Walcott. Gabriella Royce. Yannick Paul. Eric Walcott. Mary Bruce. Lachlan Harrell. St. Omer. Paula Isaacs, another icebreaker. Alan St. Omer. Give it up for all our icebreakers. All right. And we now move to the next level. Madame Zoom Master, all yours. Here we go. Hold on to your feet. Completed pathways levels. Level 1, Gabriella Royce. Level 2, Marcella St. Omer. All right. Another level 2. All right. For our level 2. Now to level 3, Marcella St. Omer. Marcella St. Omer for level 4. Level 4. have a level 4. There you have it, our level 4 awardees for the Toastmaster year 2022-2023. And I believe we're going to be moving on to our Triple Crown awardees. So levels achieved, paths completed, and now our Triple Crown awardees. Your guess is as good as mine. Here we go. 10 out of 10. Oh my goodness. Joni, Triple Crown. Let's see, who do we have? Marcella St. Omer. You can make some noise, you know. Come on. You can make some noise. You can hoot. Alan St. Omer.
Yay! All right.
Congratulations to all our Triple Crown awardees. That's a lot of work in a year. Congratulations all. And I believe we have some special awards. And I'm seeing Marcella on screen, spotlighted. So Marcella, you know there is going to be a video presentation as well for the special awards. So here we go. Ready, set, go! That's the award for 2022-2023. Rookie of the Year Award. And that goes to Yashir Chow. Woohoo! Most improved, the Toastmaster of the Year. Oh, very good. Congratulations, very good. Toastmaster of the Year Award. Best meeting attendance. You just want to show up every time. Best attendance. Francesca Louis. Francesca, congratulations. Most meeting roles. Most meeting roles. Are you ready for this? Oh, you're done. So, congratulations. Congratulations. And now for the award for membership. Membership. Members of the Lifetime of the Club are celebrating over that award. Congratulations, Toastmaster Marcella. Well done, well done. Vice President Education, Vice President Education. It's a combination of Roger Harrell and Dominic Plato. Time for this one. Sharing the award. Congratulations. President's Award. Alan Omer. With the next set of points. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. A leader indeed. Toastmaster of the Year. Toastmaster of the Year. Now that's another good one. Let's see. Award, Marcella St. Omer. Congratulations. And please make some noise for our Toastmaster of the Year. Woo, woo, Our Toastmaster of the Year, Marcella St. Omer. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh my goodness. It feels good. It feels good. It really does. Special awards going to all the folks who have contributed to the success of the club. And I started by saying, Fortune befriends the bold. You were all bold, not just bold, but beautiful. Yes, you remember that show, The Bold and the Beautiful? You were bold and you were beautiful, and you have achieved. Congratulations to all our awardees, and again, well done. Toastmasters and guests, it has really been my pleasure to share with you this evening, and I'm inspired, and I certainly will be back, and I look forward to the continued growth and development of this club of creatives. You bring something very special to the table, and something that I am privileged to be able to share in this evening. Toastmasters and guests, I'm going to hand you to Toastmaster Joni Laidlaw, who will take us out of here this evening with her thank you. So important to show gratitude. Toastmaster Joni, over to you.
In the words of the Grammy Award winning singer, gratitude is a must. Yeah. And I stand here today, well, technically sit here today to give thanks to all who made this award possible. Not just those who are part of the program today, but all of the members of the Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club who put in the hard work and dedication to get us the 10 out of 10 presidents distinguished for our 1-year anniversary. And I know it's only up from here. Thank you to our host with the most today, distinguished Toastmaster Marlene Stevenson Daly, for so ably taking us through this entire program. It was a phenomenal job. My right hand and Zoom master, I cannot say thank you enough or be able to do this without her help. My fellow club mentor, look at how far the club that we helped to mentor has come in just 1 year. It is absolutely phenomenal. To the executive, current and past, thank you for all of your hard work. Eddie Kezron, immediate past area director, but still area director when we became one. Thank you so much for your words of encouragement. After all, is the pursuit of happiness the pursuit of excellence? Well, let me just say, when you chase your happiness and you pursue what gives you joy, Platinum Artistics has proven that it will lead to excellence, with us making 10 out of 10 CCP points. Thank you so much for that message. To our current president and past president, the St. Omer duo, thank you so much for sponsoring this amazing club and for your initiative and push, especially to our Toastmaster of the Year, who not only was president, but did assist me in membership, in making sure that we were behind everyone to get our members in and involved. To our current president, former VPE, who made sure all the agendas were on time and everybody got the chance to speak so that they could also get their path done. In addition to making sure that at the district level, when we were in boss mode, we did not just hit 4 level 1s, but what was it? 9, which was even more than double what Toastmasters required. All of that in 1 year. How can I say thanks? Well, I'll do this. For everyone who missed the amazement of last year, we will be launching our YouTube channel shortly to keep abreast of everything Platinum Artistic Toastmaster. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you to the Art Talk guests who make our meeting special and make us a specialty club for artists. And you know what? This is where Alwyn, unmute. You have to say this part. This is your part, Alwyn, that makes Platinum Toastmasters the premier club for
creatives in the Caribbean. We just wanted a place where our creatives could have linkages, where we could share ideas, and through the medium of Toastmasters, we can expand our dreams and reach for that distance. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joni. Thank you everyone who helped us in the past year, because it was really a collaborative effort, hard teamwork, and fantastic. Well, our past presidents continue to push us, and the dread thing was, I'm president, but I have a mentor in the house, so it was not easy for me either. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster Joni, for the hard work. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Again, thank you, everyone, for the hard work. And next year, we're going to have a repeat. We've seen how far we come. The sky's the limit. They say to aim for the stars, because even if you miss, you will still fall on top of the trees. But I personally plan to go spacewalking along with Platinum Artistic.
Yes.
Cheers. And
Cheers,
back
everyone.
to you, Madam Host.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joni. I believe we're at the end of a really, really nice evening. Congratulations again to all. And I'll leave you with this. Success isn't just about what you can accomplish in your life. It's about what you inspire others to do. Thank you for the inspiration this evening. I treasure this moment, and I wish for you another really successful year at Platinum Artistic Toastmasters Club. This meeting is now adjourned.
Good night. Good night.